subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man. Man, talk about because I mean, you say what you want to say was it had some burn.
I was hurting, man. I was hurting, man. I just wanted to be loved and accepted. And it's weird. When you come from outside the city, this city is very territorial. So once y'all embrace something like Screw, it belongs to the city. Chad Butler, he belongs to this city. UGK, Bum, they belong to this city. And this city is territorial with their artists as well. You belong to me. So here's this outsider from North Carolina coming in. And
it's a trip because as a kid, I never I had to grow up to learn the backstory, but I just figured Hatta, Houston. I just, you know what I mean?
Nah, you had to earn that, man. I had to earn all that, and some people probably still look at me as an outsider to this day, and I'm cool with that too, because I didn't talk like everybody on the radio. Even when you go back to the movie, remember you asked me about the movie for Jason's Lyric. I didn't think I was gonna make it in that movie, because in that movie, when they cast it, they got the permission for us to say Magic 102, jams in it, and the whole nine. And then the director called, I forgot what the lady was called, but the main director wouldn't hear. She was just going in to get certain small parts. And she was like, oh, the producer wants, and the director, they want you to talk like your country.
Because they made everybody with them bullshit ass accents.
I didn't say that, you did.
It is what it is. We don't talk like that down here.
So, one, we don't talk like that down here. Two, I most certainly never talk like that on the radio. So I told the lady, if you're doing, if I'm acting in this movie, like some other DJ who's not saying my name and not saying Magic 102,
cool.
I have no problem sounding like this country DJ you want me to sound like. I said, I don't know how to do that because I'm not an actor, but so I understand that. But I said, I'm not about to get on this thing and sound like a country DJ. And they couldn't believe it. Because it wasn't like I'm not about to make big money from this. I didn't care. So I told him I wouldn't do it. So Doug McHenry, they got him on the phone. This is the man that put his money behind the movie. They got him on the phone to talk to little old me, which to this day is still amazing to me. I'm in the cafeteria part of the radio station. They said that you won't talk country as the radio DJ. I said, hey, bruh, I don't talk like that on the radio down here. The way I'm talking to you right now is the way I talk on the radio. You know what, then? That's the way you should do it. Do whatever you want to do.
That's what made it real. That was the Houston right there.
But I didn't think none of this was going to make it in the movie. So everything that you hear is me trying to be ridiculous, and there was some mad corny. Y'all might say I'm corny anyway, but I was saying some mad corny stuff in there, and all that stuff they put in the movie. I only watched that movie one time in my whole life, and that was at the premiere that we did. I can't watch it because
cringe.
Oh my goodness. And the funny thing is, everything I said got applause and laughter. So I said something about, this is when they had the summit, remember? Mm-hmm. And I said something about it's so hot in front of the summit. I just saw 2 or 3 police officers melt. Something mad corny like that. And the theater fell out. I'm like, oh, y'all love that. I'm like, oh. It was terrible, bruh. But it was funny at the same time. I'm like, wow. I don't know if the joke's on me or the joke is on them, because I didn't think they was going to use none of this stuff in the movie. And they used at least 3-4 clips in the movie. So I was like, wow. To this day, I still get little checks to this day, man. I still get little checks and get reminded. I think I just deposited $10, $15 the other day. But it was cool to be in the movie too, because it is a part of our history too. Even though I know a lot of us, I was offended at first because I'm like, they don't talk like that down here. So I don't know what they're doing in this movie. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
But then you came back to the music. You came back with that monster, man. Down south, and I hate I don't have my vinyl. I was telling Hatta when I started DJing, that was one of the first vinyls. Still got it to this day that I bought. And man.
And I know I've been long-winded talking to you just because, I'm just excited to be here. So first of all, apologies if y'all
No, this is perfect.
Apologies to you, and I know I probably cut you off a couple of good times, and things you asked me I probably didn't answer correctly because I'm just like, I still don't know why I'm sitting here. But down south definitely was a mad scientist at work. And, I've told some of the story, not all of it. I don't even know if I would tell all of it here, but that was a record that I knew was going to be a monster. Shout out to Crazy C, who produced that track. It's still to me, one of his top 3 epic tracks, and he's an incredible producer. But there's 3 tracks that just stand out in the course of Mr. Crazy C's
Well,
career.
we said that the 100 Spokes in there. What's your third?
100 Spokes is definitely
That's number
down
one
south
for me.
is
On Crazy.
Down south is number 1, and I'm not talking about my song per se. I'm talking about the production, the producer of the track, Down South, because I know it was an Outkast track. And if y'all would have heard Rosa Parks' Outkast on that Down South, that song to me would have been even bigger than it was, in my opinion. Down South really should have been a bigger song, not having anything to do with me. Please understand it. Just the track itself. 100 Spokes is another one of my favorite ones from Crazy C. What's my third one? My third favorite track, and this sounds bad because it's on my album too, but I had a song called PH Factor. And Crazy C, I'm getting ready to say Simon, I'm getting ready to say his real name, sorry, Crazy C. His production always, it didn't sound, like Down South don't sound like, the reason why you can still play it to this day, it doesn't sound like anything.
It's not a time.
Like you can't say it just has its own unique sound. And Crazy C did 100 Spokes. It has its own crazy, and that was Above the Law. Y'all go YouTube that. Above the Law, 100 Spokes.
The remix
is crazy. It's crazy. Then PH Factor. Aside from my rap, the track, man, it's this muddy doom 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 doom. I said, man, I hate that I was on that track and stopped its shine because the city just at that particular time wouldn't let me have it. But that track is a monster track. Still to this day, production-wise, it's still one of my favorite tracks. It just, the guitar, the way he used the guitar in it. I'm just really into production. You know what I mean? Producers, you're a producer, you understand. So I'm just really into great production. And Simon was definitely a scientist at that. And then I got lucky with Down South. I prayed for it. I'll tell anybody that anytime I've spoken, I prayed for Down South. I apologize to Crazy C. I apologize to Outkast. They don't even know it or probably even care because they were going through the thing with the Rosa Parks lawsuit, so the song never came out. Crazy C cannot find that version. I so wish we could find the Outkast track because y'all would say it's crazy. He put like some banjo break or something in it, or a harmonica or something. It was crazy. But I prayed for the track. Once I got it, I had to figure out what to do with it. Like I told you before, I ain't a killer, so I couldn't kill nobody. I ain't slang nothing. So I had to figure out something. And I think, to me, I said the one thing that we all do have in common, though, is we from down south. And once I had that, I'm like, that's it. Just be okay being you and do down south. I said, yeah, that's cool, but what's going to really bring it home? And at that particular time, north side was everything Slim Thug. South side, and that's no disrespect to them, nobody else on the north, and this is no disrespect to nobody on the south because it was, screwed up click. You had Kiki, you had E. It was a strong. You had Fat Pat. It was a strong lineup. But at that particular time, the guy on the south side was Yungstar. If anybody else says anything different, it's just not being honest. Yes, there was a lot of big songs at the time, but everything Yungstar was doing, he had the streets at that time. So I figured if I could get those two guys on the track, and I had a great hook, this track would take us to the promised land, and it did. And I'm going to tell on Slim Thug, he did not want to be first on that track. Don't put me first at it.
Which is a legendary first verse.
It is. The way it started. Yeah. And sometimes people don't know. You know it. The funny thing is, and I understand that most people don't know when they have a hit. And I don't know either. But I knew when I was hearing Down South, every time I heard something, I knew that was going to be. As soon as he said, welcome to the city, I'm like, that's the start. And I said, we start. And the other thing that was purpose, I didn't want to wait to get into the hook. I felt like, for me, I had to draw them into the song immediately. So intro, hook, verse, hook, and then we going to let Yungstar take over the rest of this track and do some unorthodox production, and don't worry about 16-4, 16-8, 16. No. We just going to do whatever feels right. And that's what we did to that track. And I got to, again, shout out to Crazy C, because some of the stuff I know that that I was asking him to do. I think as a producer, he did not want to do some of those things. Some of the things I was asking him to do just didn't make sense. And all I can say to add to that is there were certain parts that were super edited, and some of those people probably don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess
It was super edited. And
the Youngster thing, because it sounds like he went in like that, but this is you.
And I can honestly, I'll say it just like this: Youngster gave us a lot of takes, and I took bits and pieces of my favorite parts. And I don't even know if you know that. I really don't, to be honest with you. I've never asked. I don't think we ever had a conversation. I kind of sort of had a conversation with Slim Thug about it once, but we never overly conversated about that